Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Hondos HoloNet, where we talk all things Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and pop culture. Today I have upcoming writer, director, producer Preston Lonaker. How are you doing today, Preston?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, excited to start, excited to do this. So, before we start, a few little announcements. I'd just like to thank the creator of my logo. His name is Heroic Graphics. I will link him down. I'll link his Instagram. So let's begin. Y'all got to bear with me today. I'm feeling a little sick. But anyways, let's begin. So we are going to start ranking our top 10 DC characters. This will include heroes, villains, anti-heroes, anybody who's a character in DC. So he'll say his number 10, I'll say my number 10, and we'll go from there. All right. So top 10 DC characters, who is the bottom of your list?
Well, it's not at number 10, I got Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, okay. So what about Rage? How does he make your top 10? Because he's
I
probably
mean,
top 20 for me, but
I just love like the League of Assassins. Just that
okay.
whole deal. I love ninjas, like stealth and all of that. So that's why I got Ra's at 10.
Okay. So my number 10, I had to pick between two, and I ended up just throwing them both on there. But if I had to
Oh, you
pick,
cheated already.
I did. I right at the beginning I had to cheat. If I had to pick, it would be Nightwing.
Ooh,
Um,
okay. All
the other
right.
character was Booster Gold. I just think Booster Gold is a little too underdeveloped as,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
full DC character as of now. We'll see
yeah.
going future in
Yeah, check
Vince
back in
universe.
2 years. We might have a little bit of different conversation.
Exactly. But for now, Nightwing. I'm a huge Dick Grayson fan. I'm a huge Robin Nightwing, however he wants. But I mean, starting off just his suit is just the blue and the black in Gotham.
That's
It's just so cool.
yeah.
I I love his character. I loved his character, especially in the Titans TV show. I think Brenton Thwaites portrayed him really well, and that honestly is probably the main reason that I am such a big Nightwing fan. Yeah, so all right, I'll start with my number nine,
All right, yeah, yeah.
Riddler.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah. He did
yeah,
not make my list,
really
actually.
at all.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I'm a big Riddler fan. He's not my favorite Batman villain. We'll get there, but I've always been a fan of the Riddler. Back I went to New York Comic Con in 2019,
Mhm.
and I dressed up as the Riddler, and I was him for Halloween that same year. I loved any of his just the way he works. I love the aspect that Batman has where he really gets to put his detective side to it, and I think that's one
Yeah.
reason I love the Riddler and the Batman, Robert Pattinson's. Uh,
See,
yeah.
that's the thing. I think the Riddler in the Batman tainted it for me.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Gotham, the show?
Well,
Riddler
yeah.
in Gotham is like exactly what I want the Riddler to be.
I
Yeah.
100% agree with you.
And I feel like
That is my favorite Riddler.
it is really good. And the Batman Riddler just took it away.
So the Batman Riddler is not my favorite Riddler. I like him because of the aspect he played back and forth with Batman, bringing
Okay.
out Batman's
Okay.
detective side.
Interesting.
I did enjoy the Riddler in the Batman, but he is, like I said,
Yeah.
Gotham's Riddler. I
So
mean,
good.
2019 when I
It's
dressed up as
good.
the Riddler, that's why I was the Riddler because of
That's-
Gotham's Riddler.
It's so good.
It is amazing. I gotta rewatch that show. All right, nine.
My died. Is this going to piss you off? I know it is. Green Lantern.
Really,
Yep.
we could end right here. I think that's it.
I was like, I know this dude's about to be like top two, if not top three on your list. Just you
We'll
know,
see. So which Green Lantern? Is it Hal? Is it John? Or is it just the Green Lanterns in general?
yeah, it's probably just Green Lanterns in general, because like at least mainstream wise, they haven't really chose one to stick
Yeah.
to it. So I mean, I really like John Stewart,
Okay.
but it's really just in Green Lanterns in general. Like I really haven't like dived deep into the core yet, you know?
Yeah, I get that. The reason I love Green Lantern so much, and like I said, we'll definitely get to Green Lantern later on in my list, and you know that I know that. Um, Blackest Night, and that's all I'm gonna say because I'll hit that later on. But
All right, yeah, yeah.
Blackest Night is my reason. All right, what's next?
My eight is Wonder Woman.
Okay, did not make my list,
Yeah, I
surprisingly.
mean, I figured, with how low she was on mine, that I figured it wasn't gonna make yours. But you gotta respect some core members,
Oh, of course.
and despite what people say online, I do like Gal Gadot's portrayal.
Me
So,
too. My one of my favorites
I
in the
mean,
DCEU. I mean,
yeah,
really, if I was thinking long and hard about this, she was going to be if we kept on going, she would be 11. I think if
yeah,
she was
you just
11,
barely missed out.
yeah, Booster Gold would have been under her even. I mean,
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
Wonder Woman. So we're going to move on. My favorite Batman villain, the Penguin.
Oh,
This has nothing to
okay,
do with the most recent Penguin show because I only saw the first episode.
okay. Yeah, I
I
watched like three or four, and then
yeah,
I just
I
it's
do need to
really
watch it.
good. It's
It's
really
great.
good, but
Yeah.
time is
The
of the
time it was
essence.
coming out, going back and forth with Agatha all along, which was surprisingly super good. I think I needed that Agatha more than I needed that dark
Interesting.
Penguin. So
Uh, Penguin did
I've
not make my list.
at all
Nope.
doesn't make many people's lists. I love Danny DeVito's Penguin. Batman Returns is
Oh,
my
yeah,
favorite Batman
okay.
movie.
Yeah,
Batman
okay.
Returns, yes. Right? Batman Returns is that name? Yeah. Yeah.
So
Batman Returns.
I tried to stay away from Batman villains
Okay.
in like a lot of it
Okay.
because like if we're being truthful, his his gallery could just
Wipe.
they could go straight
Yeah.
5 through 10. Like it
Oh
could
yeah.
well do that. Um, so I had to play a little bit with it.
Yeah.
Uh, so we're you on seven now?
Yeah, we're on seven. You want to go? You want me?
You can go. Yeah, you
All
go.
right. Seven. Another villain, anti-hero, maybe. Jumps around Batman, Green Arrow, the Teen Titans, Deathstroke is my number seven.
Deathstroke's really good.
I love Deathstroke. A few years back, I'll add a picture. I met Manu Bennett, who played him in Arrow.
Okay.
I love Deathstroke. Everything about him. I'm better than Deadpool by far. I love Deathstroke. His
Interesting.
everything. I can't
Yeah.
even
Okay.
pinpoint stuff. But
Another one
he's
that did
just
not
yeah, he's
did
just
not make my list.
I love him so much and he's still number seven. And this is my favorite thing about DC
Yeah. I
is
mean,
all of their characters just pop. I mean, I could go 10 to 1. I love all of these characters.
yeah.
I there's no difference, but I have to
Deathstroke's
make a list.
Deathstroke's easily top 13 for me. Like
I get that.
he's definitely at least 11 through 13 somewhere.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I mean, Deathstroke, we've seen him in Arrow, Titans, even at the end credit of what Batman v Superman or Justice League, whatever one he was in. I'm hoping to see him a lot more coming up because
I mean,
again, love him.
I really liked him in Arrow,
Oh, I
but
did too.
I'm a little biased.
I I know we
I
both
might
are.
be a little, yeah. My
Who's your
seven,
seven?
this could be a shock here. You ready?
Yeah,
Alfred.
not a shock at all. I was debating
Oh,
putting him on my list.
okay, cool.
Which
Yeah,
version of Alfred is your favorite?
I really like Christian Bale's,
Okay.
like the Dark Knights
Yeah.
and Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's really good
Yeah, he was great.
at everything he does.
Yep, he's pretty
So,
direct with Alfred.
um,
Yeah, if
not really heavy on the DCEU
me neither,
Alfred,
but yeah.
but I mean, you win some, you lose some.
Yep, I love Sean Pertwee in Gotham.
Hmm.
I loved him as Alfred. Probably not my favorite. I was excited when the Pennyworth show was coming out.
I mean,
Another show I didn't watch, but
Gotham in general is just really good.
oh, I
They
even
hit
everyone was like, "Oh, the fifth season wasn't the best." It wasn't the best, but it was still
Jordan.
really good.
Jordan was good.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
it was good.
I could do a whole episode talking about the five seasons of
Probably,
that show. That's a
probably.
fantastic show.
Yeah.
All right, who's your six?
I six, definitely on your list, might be a little low. Joker?
Actually, not on my list.
You didn't have Joker on your list?
I no, and that wasn't even a debate to me. Joker is like 15, 14. Yeah,
That's
I'm
insane.
I'm not a big Joker guy.
That's actually insane.
Yeah. What I obviously know why. I mean, the same reason he was your number six.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, okay, that's funny actually. I probably I know why Joker's your six. I mean, I know why Joker is top for a lot of people. He's the Joker.
literally the most iconic villain probably ever created.
Other than Darth Vader, of course. But yeah, I definitely I see why. I don't even think that needs an explanation because I can
Darth
appreciate Joker just
Darth
as much as
Vader's
the
not a Darth Vader's not a villain. He's just misunderstood.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So my number six is Batman. You know,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah. So we got
that's
that good
low.
rivalry right there.
That
That
is
is low,
low.
and that's
Interesting.
because every other character, five through one, that I could consider them all my favorite character. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
so
I mean,
Batman is obviously self-explainable as well. Um, he's Batman. What
to the
else?
notion with Joker, it's probably one of the best
Yeah,
characters ever created. I mean,
yeah, definitely. He's
yeah.
pretty simple. Okay, five. My favorite DC villain in general, Reverse Flash.
Oh,
Big
dang.
Flash fan, big Thawne fan.
Dang.
Did you not have him on your
Honestly,
list?
I forgot. Yeah.
Oh wow, wow. I'm
Yeah. But
surprised.
I don't know if he would even make it
Okay, I see what you mean. I mean, he's
because
definitely highlighted in the TV
we're
shows the
definitely
most,
we're definitely biased
of
because we
course.
love the Flash show.
Yeah,
So
that's
outside of that portrayal, does he make the list?
yes, but not that high. He's still my
You
favorite
know?
DC villain. I love him in
Okay.
the comics, but I think it's the Flash that pushed him up. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just such a
Tom
big
Cavanaugh is
recurring
that guy.
character.
I mean,
Exactly. Tom Cavanaugh and Matt Lanter plays Anakin. What's his name? Matt, the other guy who plays him. I'm blanking on his name.
Lester?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm blanking on
My
his name,
apologies,
but
Matt, if you're watching this.
yeah. He and Matt Lanter, if you're watching this, thank you. No, I I mean they just both did such a good job in every season of The Flash they were in,
Yeah.
and in season two of Legends of
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Anytime he worked well with everyone, they fought Firestorm and Arrow when they did Firestorm, Arrow, and The Flash
Mhm.
in season one.
Yep.
Anytime he fought the Legends in season two, I mean they just did such a great
Yep.
job with that character.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just don't know outside of that, does it? I
It's
definitely
I
doesn't
get
make
it.
my list. I'm
Yeah.
thinking well-rounded here.
Yeah, I get it.
My five though is actually Nightwing.
Oh wow, high.
Yep. Yep.
I expected to see him on your list, not that high.
I just love Nightwing, man. I always
Yeah.
have. I mean, the suit just I mean, if it wasn't for Batman, he'd probably be my favorite Batman
Yeah.
character. So,
I understand that my thing with Batman is I love Batman, don't get me wrong, but I love Batman supporting characters. His rogues
yeah.
gallery,
And
his
I want to make it
sidekicks.
clear that I'm not big on Robin, like any of
Okay.
them.
Any
I
of the
am
Robins.
big as soon as he gets out of Robin.
I think that's me too. I think every
You know,
time his sidekicks leave, Robin, Red Hood, whoever it is, every
they're
time they
just
leave,
so
they get
good.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tim Drake, although he's my least favorite Robin, I think he's I like him as Robin more than I like him as Red Robin. I think Red Robin is just such a random character that seems so forced because
Yeah.
all of the other Robins did it and then Damian Wayne came in. Damian Wayne grew on me a lot in the past few years, but I
Okay.
think I like Tim Drake more as Robin than I do as Red Robin. He's not on
Okay.
my list. He's
Yeah.
just a throwing out there.
Yeah. My
Okay.
my
Yeah.
fourth is Superman.
Oh, that's low.
I knew it was gonna be low to you, but
Low.
like my one and two is pretty interchangeable.
Okay, that's mine as well.
All right. So after that, you're really just with three and four.
That's
And the
true.
next guy at three, I have just slightly above Superman. Don't get me wrong, I
Uh-huh.
really do love Superman.
Yeah.
But I don't want to
Yeah,
sound like the guy, but
was a rough movie. That
Man of
was
Steel could take
not,
it. Now I really am. Now Superman could easily jump to one after James Gunn's movie.
of
All right.
course. I mean, look at it.
I mean, two
For
minute
anybody
the
who does
trailer,
not know, I am a
2 minute teaser.
big James Gunn fan. I love James Gunn.
Dude, James
Um,
Gunn's about to cook with this,
yeah,
bro.
I cannot wait. Um, my number four, uh, Hal Jordan's Green Lantern.
Okay. Yeah.
I
I mean, I knew it was gonna be high.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna crack your top three. I'm not gonna lie.
normally on any day,
Yeah.
uh, in the past it would have he used to be my number three again because of Blackest Night. That storyline, one of my favorite storylines in a DC comic book, maybe even a comic book in general. I love right. It's right under Flashpoint for me. Flashpoint's my favorite.
Flashpoint is
Oh yeah.
brilliant
So
when it's done right, you know?
yeah, of course, not DCEU Ezra Miller's Flash movie, but we'll get to there. Back then,
Are we gonna get to there? That's a hefty topic here.
I we could one day definitely. That'll be a long video. Um, so I Blackest Night made me fall in love with not only the Green Lantern Corps, but all of the lanterns. I uh could say I have an affinity for like just learning about the different Lantern Corps because I don't know much about the blue or the pink, but like obviously things like
Yeah,
yellow and red and orange and even white and black, like those are kind of self-explanatory. But even though indigo and blue, hope and love and all of that, you can kind of just be like, oh yeah, that's it's about hope or love or whatever. But it's so much deeper than that. But at a
hmm.
base, Hal Jordan's Green Lantern. Obviously, Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds is nothing great, nothing special. Uh, I cannot wait for the Lantern show. We're getting
I'm
that next
not,
year.
you know, to that notion, I'm not as low on the movie as literally every other soul on
Yeah,
this
of course.
is, but it's still bad.
Oh yeah,
You know,
it's like
is it the worst movie ever created? No.
no,
And
yeah.
just think it is.
I think that's how I am with Morbius. I know we're going completely off topic, but I
No,
think
no, yeah.
Morbius is an awful movie, but it's not as bad as
I mean,
Madam Web.
I think I gave Morbius a 6 out of 10.
I think I'm around 5 or 6, 5.5,
Yeah.
something
I
like
mean,
that. I
it's
gotta check,
it's
but
literally average.
yeah,
Like,
it's just an average movie. The writing
yeah.
wasn't anything special, but I mean, all the actors did what they could. I don't know. I didn't hate it, but
And maybe I'm a little bit higher on that just because, Morbius isn't like mainstream. So like anything different that we get, we're just gonna be like,
it's
oh, that's
nice.
new.
Yeah,
That's fresh.
yeah,
Um, but it was
yeah,
still pretty bad. I
yeah,
mean,
definitely.
yeah.
All right, three.
Yeah.
Um, Green Arrow.
Ooh, okay.
I
Okay.
mean, again,
Eh, Happy it made your
Arrowverse.
top three. Hey, top three. I can live with it. I can live with it.
Yeah, I the Arrowverse, especially the Arrow show. We got 8 seasons of besides season four, but we'll get there. 8 seasons of just pure
Do
TV.
we are we gonna let's get there now, actually.
Let's
Let's get there
now
now.
let's
You
get it
know
out
what?
of the
Let's get
way.
there now.
Let's get it out. The magic, come on. Green Arrow, he doesn't need magic. He's not
Listen,
Wanda. He's not
listen,
Zatanna.
listen. Li-
Damien Dark fit perfectly in
Batman can
Legends.
over here fight Darkseid and no one bats an eye. But
Okay,
Green Arrow takes
but
on a guy with magic and then everyone loses their
okay.
marbles.
There's no
Come on.
problem. There's no problem
Come
with the guy
on.
and magic. It
You
fighting
know,
the magic is not the problem.
no.
Batman doesn't inherit magic to fight Darkseid like Oliver Queen picked up the magic to fight Damien Dark. Damien Dark fighting Oliver with magic,
All
that's a
right.
completely
All right.
different thing.
The only reason people hate season four is because they killed off Laura.
No, I don't give a shit about Laurel. I
Me
couldn't
neither.
care
Me
less
neither.
about
I don't care.
Laurel. They set up
We're gonna get so much hate for this. We do not
they
care.
set up Earth 2 Laurel extremely well. I'm
No,
sorry, Earth
no,
1
no.
Laurel. You don't
It
think
didn't
so?
set up Earth 2 Laurel. They were on damage control.
You really think so? I mean, I think that it started off as that it's so like,
They were
oh
on
wow, we messed up, we killed Laurel,
yeah.
let's bring in another Laurel. But I also think the way it ended up playing out by the end of the season, I think they got a little bit. They redeemed themselves. I think that Earth to Laurel ended with a pretty decent story.
Hmm?
Um, I I Green Arrow year one, great comic run. Anything with Green Arrow and Green Lantern working together, awesome. They're pretty interchangeable, 3 and 4. So I mean, Oliver Queen is just great. I'm working on I'm taking a break now, but my Green Arrow movie, I've
Yep.
been writing that, and I mean, just being able to explore the character is a lot of fun.
It's yeah. My three is Batman.
Okay,
Yeah,
obviously top three
yeah.
is
Now
Batman.
I like Batman more just because I'm I wouldn't say I'm one of those guys who will say that Superman is like overpowered
Hmm.
because so what? You
Yeah.
know, we could argue that a lot of these guys are overpowered, but just a guy that can just
Yeah.
rely on his own body and his own mind. That's it.
Yeah. Okay,
It's,
but you're not one of the prep time Batman people, right? Like, oh, with prep time he could beat because any
hey,
amount of prep time that he gets,
listen,
anybody else will get too.
there's
So,
there's a lot of evidence that suggests that Batman with prep time is undefeated though.
okay, so Batman with prep time and Superman with the same amount of prep time, who wins?
Depends. If Batman has prep time, then he's got kryptonite. And if
But
Batman's got kryptonite,
Superman
that's
could
it.
also prepare for that because he has prep time as well.
Prepare how? Let,
Supergirl got a kryptonite suit. Superman could do the same thing. She got her Iron Man-ified version in Supergirl, the TV show. He
Superman
could
would
do
have
the
to go
same
to Lex
thing.
Luthor for that, and he ain't gonna do that.
You never know. You never know. All right, you go. You say your
Yeah,
number two. I'll get
yeah.
to mine.
My two is Green Arrow.
Okay, that's again,
Yeah.
obviously.
Again, one and two is interchangeable, and I'm sure they are for you as well.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean,
Green Arrow.
we've been over Green Arrow. We
Yeah.
just I've Green Arrow the show kicked off DC for me as a whole, so it's always
Okay.
gonna
Special place.
special place,
Yep.
you know, because I grew up Spider-Man Toby,
Yeah.
and that just kicked off like Marvel. And
Okay.
so, I mean, to this day, every year I still rewatch that entire trilogy
Of
every year.
course, you have to
Um,
watch it every couple of
so,
months.
um, so, but Green Arrow started DC for me as a whole,
Yeah.
and outside of Spider-Man, who is obviously my favorite character of all time as a whole, um, Green Arrow is probably that equally for me for DC.
Okay.
Now, I do have him too for a good reason,
Yeah.
but it's just hard not to have that guy that started everything for you up top.
Yeah. I completely understand when we get to my number one. I promise you, I will tell you almost the same story. But my number two, a complete opposite of you, Superman, the man himself.
Yep.
He is
So
the hero.
we're gonna have these same ones.
Yes, we're 100%. I knew that from when
100%
we
we're gonna have the same
decided. Yeah.
ones. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
Man, I'm actually surprised Superman was not one for you.
so I've had, back in November, December, I had this Superman, this crazed Superman between Superman and Lois, the
You
Justice League
were so
cartoon,
prepared.
the DCU James Gunn's Superman trailer. Oh my gosh. I was on a plane to Arizona. I told you I listened for the full 7 hours that morning the trailer came out. I listened to that song on repeat for the
It's so
full
good.
flight. Oh my gosh. I
So good.
love Superman. Chris Reeves, all of it. Just everything. I don't care.
Yep.
The whole thing. And I love Superman's surrounding characters. I love obviously Lois, and I cannot wait to see this new girl play Lois.
Yep.
Rachel Bron, I can't think of it, excuse me.
We can't pronounce last names to save our
No,
life.
that is the one name I'm like, because at first I was like, oh, Rachel Bronson, and I'm like, that's
It's
not
definitely
right.
not Bronson.
That's
That's not.
not right. Yeah. So, anyways, she is. She looks fantastic as Lois.
Yeah, yeah.
Nicholas
This
Hoult,
whole movie just looks good.
it looks amazing. Nicholas
Looks
Hoult was my
it
fan
looks.
cast to play Superman. Everyone's like,
Oh,
wait, what?
okay.
Nicholas Hoult as Superman? And I'm like, yeah, you know, him as Beast with the, yeah, build up a little bit. But his
Okay.
Lex Luthor, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Lex didn't make my list at the bottom. But wow.
I mean, my point to that is if we're gonna have the most iconic Superman villain, he has to go against the most iconic Batman villain, and there's like four Batman villains ahead of Lex
Yeah,
Luthor,
that's true.
at
I
least,
100%.
So,
Yeah,
so our number ones are obviously
The Flash.
the Flash. Yeah,
Okay.
like
So
100%.
The Flash not only kicked off DC for me, but kicked off superheroes as a whole.
Oh, okay.
I grew up on Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future. Like I like that
Yeah.
sci-fi, that adventure type of movies.
Mhm.
I did not care for superheroes. When I was young, with my younger brother, I watched the Justice League cartoon, Justice League Unlimited. He was a big superhero fan. He was that. He had all the action figures, and now they're all in my drawer, or most of them. Um, he,
Oh.
yeah, he
Yeah.
loved them. And when my youngest brother was being born, my parents, you know, were in the hospital. I stayed with my grandmother, and my grandmother introduced me to Arrow. And
Okay.
about 5, 10 minutes in, I said, "This is boring." It's like I cannot get into this. What the heck? I was like, I
What?
cannot. I was a stupid kid. So she was like, all right, try
Now you
this.
just grew up to being a stupid adult, huh?
Yeah, basically. So so she was like, okay, try this one. So she put on the Flash,
Ooh,
and
okay.
within a week, or not even, we went to go. I watched the Flash all morning. We went to go visit my parents in the hospital, my mom, and this is a day before my brother was born. So this is April 20th, 2016. Um, I'm watching The Flash, and about, you know, however much time to get through 7 episodes of The Flash, I'm through those 7 episodes. I
You
remember
had like
being
this
in the
light bulb
hospital,
go off.
yep, sitting in the room with my mom watching The Flash on my grandmother's phone. I was addicted. And I went through, and after that, it's when I started getting into DC through Arrow,
Okay.
Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl.
Hmm.
Then I branched out. I said, well, I really love DC now. Let me branch out to Michael Keaton's Batman movies. So that's when I started, and that's when I
So
got into there.
did that just kick off DC,
Mm-mm.
or was it?
So
So you
I,
missed like a lot of the early MCU projects.
oh, so yes, I
Mm,
saw in theaters just because of, you know, sometimes you don't really know what it's about, but you see the Avengers, a big time superhero movie. So I saw that in theaters. I
okay.
saw Spider-Man Homecoming in theaters.
Okay.
So yeah, so uh Homecoming and Avengers 1 in theaters. I did not care for I like Spider-Man, like I liked at the base level, but when I found out Infinity War was coming out, I was in 7th grade. That's when
I'll
I
say
sat
this.
down and watched it all.
Say this. I'll say this. If Spider-Man Homecoming was your first initial kicker to Spider-Man, I feel
I
bad
know.
for you.
And I feel bad for myself, but I made up with it by watching the Toby movies before I watched the MCU.
Good.
Oh, Toby, I that is a whole conversation. That's another thing. I don't know. I'm finding things that I could talk whole episodes
We
about.
could have like an 8 hour podcast
Oh,
easily.
100%. On Spider-Man 2 itself. Wow, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 is my one of my favorite Marvel movies. But so so yeah, so when
Are
Infinity
you
War
a
came out,
Tasm defender?
of course, both of them,
That's
especially the second one.
beautiful.
Love the second one.
Beautiful.
Music, oh, the
This is why
music
we're
is what's
friends. This is
100%. Yeah, I love Tasm. I love Toby's. I don't have a problem with any of the Spider-Mans. I love Far From Home as well. I loved Homecoming. I love obviously No Way Home, but who didn't? And this new show, I still have to watch the last episode of Your Friendly Neighborhood. But wow, it's awesome. I don't know
it.
why I haven't yet, but it's so
Why?
good. So good. I love it. Um, anyways,
I
yeah,
was
so
staying up
the
to 1 a.m. every Wednesday watching that.
you know, I I've been busy. I've been trying to get as much done. I just have it's just the last episode I have. Um,
Uh, quick question to that DC
yeah,
character list, because I think we just got sidetracked.
yeah, a lot.
Okay, that's all right. Is your Flash just a general basis of the character, or are you more Barry or Wally?
Uh, Barry, just because of my connection with him to the
Okay.
beginning of starting this love of fandoms. None of
Yeah.
this,
Okay.
regardless how much I love
Yeah.
everything, none of this would happen without Barry Allen. Grant
Yeah.
Gustin's The Flash.
I'm more of a Barry guy myself,
Yep.
so
All right. Your reasoning. What's up? What's with The Flash?
I mean, the show really is really good.
Yeah,
It does fall off, and
unfortunately.
I'm not gonna sit here and glaze it just to be glazing it, right? But
Called me out.
does what?
I said you called me out.
Um, it gave DC something that it couldn't have for a very long time, and that was a shared universe that was actually very
Yes.
well put together. Um, that even the DCU just
Ignored.
it struggled so hard for.
Yeah.
Um, and I really love it's not just that he's fast, right? There's this
Yeah.
whole thing behind him. It's not speed, it's the speed force. And once you understand the speed force, it opens up so many more doors. And then it's like the equivalent to Spider-Man, right? So
Yeah.
like the multiverse of Spider-Man is so good with all the different iterations of Spider-Man. It's the same thing with the Flash.
Yeah.
There are so many good characters that have the same basis of power, but they're so different.
Yeah.
It's just like this whole combination of like it's just
It's
so good.
it's so much more in depth. When I was younger, watching Justice League Unlimited before I cared, I'm like, the Flash runs. Like I could run. Who cares? But really, it's not just running, and I 100% agree. There's so much into it other than just the base of, yeah, he's a
I
fast
mean,
guy.
he could phase, he could time travel. Like
Yeah, his whole backstory. I mean, the reason why, and this is why Reverse Flash has such a hatred for a guy he never met. He kills his mom. Like there's this whole story, and it's very intricate. And I know exactly what you mean.
yeah. Not to mention, I am writing one.
I was gonna bring that up.
I
We
am,
got writer
you know.
of. Remind me of the title, The Flash.
Oh, I can't say that.
Oh,
You know,
can't say the title.
can't say that now. Come on now.
Well, we got
Gonna
lucky to
spill
have
all of
writer
it.
of
I
the
mean, it
Flash from.
it does at least have the Flash in the name.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's not just gonna say like Justice and the Flash is not there, and then you're confused. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I know I read parts of it, and it's good. So I'm excited to see more. We got to pitch it to James Gunn. Hopefully,
Yeah,
he's watching. We'll
Mr.
send it
Gunn,
to him
if
after.
you're watching this, man,
We'll send it to him. I promise. I'll tag him in all the videos. All right. Comment down below. Your top 10 DC heroes, villains, anti-heroes, whatever. All right. Let's move on. So, just a couple of days ago, Disney has released their first official trailer for Lilo and Stitch. Now I love Lilo and Stitch. You could ask anybody. Me and my girlfriend have a Lilo and Stitch cookbook. I love Lilo and Stitch.
what is in that?
All
Outside of
Hawaiian,
recipes, of course, but like, yeah, oh yeah, Hawaiian?
yeah, just Hawaiian Polynesian themed foods.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah, we're actually funny story. We're having a Lilo and Stitch date coming up the next few days. We're gonna cook. We got pineapple cake. Yeah.
For
So
sure.
I love Lilo and Stitch. Um, I watch that movie at least 5, 6 times a year minimum. I am a big Lilo and Stitch guy, and it's funny because I
That is
really,
a little crazy.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that is a little crazy.
yeah, I only saw that movie for the first time in its entirety last year, right?
Oh, so
Maybe 2023.
you've only watched it like 6 times total then.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. You're
I
lying. Yeah, over here thinking
I
You know,
No,
since its
yeah,
release, you've been watching it 5 or 6 times a
at
year.
least, yeah, at least 5 or 6 times a year for 2 years. Let's say anywhere between 6 and 12 times. Um, I am a big Lilo and Stitch fan, so I'm excited for this because this is one of the few live actions, the live action remakes that Disney made that kind of sticking to everything. We saw in the trailer, we saw the CGI Stitch, which looks adorable. Disney CGI has been up and down recently with Marvel, Star Wars,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
yeah,
that was gonna be one of my notes because I you literally just told me to watch dinner before we started
yeah,
recording. So, I think that it was the CGI on him was really good. Like it wasn't like this Sonic
it
issue
was
where we
yeah,
had to, like completely revamp the entire situation. So,
or like the Snow White dwarves, which you know, yeah. So I think the CGI for that was just I thought it was great. I thought he looked good. I thought the space stuff looked really good. It opens up where they're in space. There's all the
yeah.
aliens, and he
hmm
steals the spaceship. I thought all that looked really good. It again stuck to the original animated movie, and it just looked really good. This little girl who's playing Lilo is just adorable. She really captures the
That's
Lilo-esque
really that's really gonna be the killer of the movie. And by
that
killer, I mean actually like what it does well at the box office because just in that little 2 minute step that they're gonna be great.
oh yeah,
Like that.
she is just
She
to be that young. I think she's actually
be
only
that
six
young,
years old
yeah, to be that young and act like that in
with
prop of a CGI place,
yes,
that's
exactly.
really good.
And I watched this guy, one of my favorite podcasters. His name is John Campea, big movie guy. And a few months back, I think it was around August and during the D23, he was like, she's gonna make or break the movie, and I couldn't agree more. I
Yeah.
mean, because nothing against her, but if she doesn't capture Lilo the way which it looks like she's going to, and she looks amazing already, but if she doesn't
Mhm.
capture the Lilo, there's no dynamic between Lilo and Stitch. But like I said, just based from that trailer, and I was going the same place. The way that she's able to act with a prop that's CGI that is something that's not even there is just phenomenal.
My biggest, I don't know if I want to say doubt, but my biggest speculation and where I hold a lot of doubt will be the at the end of the trailer we saw like the little portal open up and then you turn back into an alien.
Yeah,
I think if they go too much in that direction where it's like this complete mess of people trying to just take him back,
yeah.
that might get a little iffy for me.
So I
You
know
know,
it's been a while since you saw the movie, and
probably like,
I'm at the point where I saw people complaining about Pleakley, the alien who's in the portal.
okay,
People complaining about his CGI, and in the animated movie, obviously he
but
doesn't
isn't
look.
it supposed to be goofy CGI?
He's
Like,
supposed to look kind of not only creepy and not the
but
nightmare
like,
fuel that
wasn't it
people
like
say.
slimy?
Yeah, he's supposed to look like that. Like
I mean,
it fits.
I didn't really care. Like,
Yeah,
that's not
I
gonna piss me off. I'm saying like that's the basis of like if they come back and just start doing damage just to get him back,
yeah.
like that's gonna be
Which
like
what I
this is not an Avengers film. You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
So
Like we don't need to
I
destroy a
agree.
whole city
We
over
need
here.
to see we need to see Prime Lilo and Stitch where throughout the whole movie they were trying to get him back. The two aliens were trying to get
Yeah.
him back,
I
but
think
they were aliens disguised
yeah,
in human clothes being goofy.
if they go in the direction of like Home Alone to where it's like a bunch of goofy
Yes.
mishaps, I'm gonna love it.
That's
It's
what it
like
has
this
to be.
that's what it has to be. But if it's like this super like long, serious damage field
Yeah.
thing, it can't be Men in Black type situation,
They're not Avengers level threats. That's
you
basically
know?
what it is. Yeah. We
If
need to
we do
see we
that,
need to see the goofy. I like that analogy, the Home
if we
Alone.
do the Home Alone thing,
Yes.
it's gonna be really good.
It'll be super good. It'll stick to the story. I understand why they didn't put Pleakley in like the girl clothes like they did in the animated. Um, because obviously it just costs money to CGI and it's a lot easier to just humanize them, which
Yeah,
completely fine with me. I saw somebody complaining. I couldn't care less. Um, because obviously we're gonna see malfunctions with their
technology
yeah.
and
Yeah, it's
yeah,
gonna be fun as long as they do it right. My only, I think, overall complaint is Cobra Bubbles. Uh,
you're gonna
I
have
don't know
to.
if you remember. So he's the big in the animated. He's the big African American spy with he wears the
Okay,
glasses.
okay,
The guy who plays him looks like he'll do a good job. Like he fits, but he doesn't look like him. And I'm excuse me, wow. I am one of the people where you don't need to look the role to play the role.
okay.
But this
But you
guy
have
looks
to at
like
least read the role.
this guy looks like
So
the
if
name
he's just
Cobra
like,
Bubbles. I mean, the guy in
okay,
the Lilo and Stitch cartoon, big, muscular guy, did not look like his last name was Bubbles. This guy looks like his last name was Bubbles. So I would have appreciated it if somebody with the Rocks type of build maybe played Cobra Bubbles, but I'm not going to be too weary because
okay.
it looks like
I
he's
mean,
going to do good. Yeah.
it's
It
not like that pressing of an issue.
yeah.
You had to find something that you can complain about, right?
Yeah, always got to complain about something that
You know, you can't
typical
watch the
Marvel
entire trailer and be
fans.
like, "This is
This
fantastic."
is
I have
great.
no
Yeah, I
complaint.
gotta act like, restore the Snyderverse,
You
gotta
know,
act like
you
that.
gotta
Um,
have something to yap about, right?
you know it. But overall, I think the trailer is promising. It comes out May 23rd. I think that's the date. It's in May. I think it's 23rd, Memorial Day.
Something.
Um, yeah, so I'm excited. I'm open. I'll go see it opening weekend. Super excited. I think it'll be a good movie overall. I mean, I loved all of their live action remakes so far. Even The Little Mermaid from last year, which everybody hated on. I didn't think it was as bad as, or it's not last year, 2023, 2 years ago. I saw it in theaters. I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't a terrible show. Cinderella, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Maleficent, all greats. Mulan was even good besides the music. Cruella de Vil was kind of boring, but that wasn't a remake. That was more of an original story. Um, Overall, I'm excited, but I'll see where it goes.
What's your box office prediction and your prediction of what you're gonna rate it out of 10?
Ooh, box office prediction. That is a good question. I'll get back on that. What I'm gonna rate it out of 10. Um, from this trailer alone, from this and the teaser, they really captured the essence of Stitch and Lilo. I think it'll definitely be an 8. Solid 8.
Okay.
Uh,
I wrote
the
mine down before I asked the question, so I had it as a 7.
okay. The only way it'll go below a 7 for me
Is if
is
they don't do if they just completely botch it.
they completely mess up the movie. That is the only
Yeah,
way. I box office, domestic or
like
worldwide,
global. Yeah, global.
global.
Hmm.
Um, at the end, Disney's been doing really good in the box office with Inside Out, with Moana, with
Yeah.
Mufasa.
Hmm.
I, if I had to guess just a number, 500 million at
I had
minimum.
it down. I had it down for 6.
Okay. I think it'll be,
I think it. I don't. I don't think it'll make much more than that.
no, I don't think it's not going to be $1 billion film. I know
No,
that.
no.
It'll be, I would say anywhere between 5 and 600 million. I think that's a pretty decent, area. But hopefully, I wouldn't complain if it does better. I think that I'm one of the people that it always needs to do good. I want every movie to succeed.
Yeah.
That's just how I am, and I think that if it succeeds, it'll just open more doors for you know making better live action remakes. But yeah, anything else? Anything you think?
No, I mean that.
Yeah, that covers it. I mean, I
Yeah.
like that box office question. I didn't think about asking that. All right. So we have another fun thing to do. This was Preston's idea. we're gonna be doing blind ranking. So how this works is we'll give each other something to rank. He'll start, he'll ask me, I'll rank a top five, and then he'll give his top five, and then vice versa. All right. So what's the question? What am I ranking?
So you are ranking superheroes slash comic book characters on their ability to be WWE superstars.
You put thought into this. Ooh. Okay.
All right,
So
you ready?
yep, I'll start.
You got a notepad, you ready to write down?
I will write it on my notes app. I didn't think of a notepad. Okay.
All right,
So
so there's only five of them here, all right? So you're
only
ranking one,
five.
all right? Mary Jane Watson.
Oh, okay.
What are you putting it at?
At one through five. I have to put four.
Okay.
I will leave the five spot open.
All right. Captain America.
One.
Are you sure about that? You already said it, so you can't
I
go
said it, yeah, I can't change
you
it
can't
now,
go
but
back. You used that one
I
really
know I should have
early.
said two. Every time I watch people do this on YouTube all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta leave the one spot open always, and I put it at one.
Green Lantern.
I'll put him at three.
Okay. Batman.
Two.
All right.
Watch number five is gonna be like the Hulk.
No, I felt like that would be a little bit cheap, so I didn't put the Hulk on it.
Probably, yeah.
Hawkeye.
Oh, that's okay. Obviously, I wish that Hawkeye was five above, was four above
Four above
MJ.
Mary Jane. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
but I think that's a pretty solid list. I think Green Lantern and Hawkeye are interchangeable. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but
Now
yeah.
this is with their powers included.
Oh, powers included.
Yeah.
I, okay. I was thinking base hero. I was gonna ask which Green Lantern, but okay. Powers included. Obviously, I would say same list, just switch MJ and Hawkeye.
Okay. So you think
Yeah.
Captain America is just going to be a
I think
dog?
Captain America's one. I think he'd be a fantastic wrestler. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All
Now
right.
what am I ranking?
Yeah. So you're going to be ranking the top five MCU TV shows post Endgame. Um,
Oh man.
yeah. So I got some good ones for you. Um,
All right.
I before we start this, this is not going to count Daredevil, because it
Born
hasn't
again.
finished
Not
yet.
can. Okay. All
Yep,
right.
it's not going to count any of the Defenders universe previously, or like Agent Carter or Agents of Shield, none of that.
It's
It's
fine.
not going to cover,
I never watched the Defender
yeah.
stuff. It's been on
Okay,
my
that
to-do list, but I
that's
just
something you got to do. Yeah. Um, it will not count obviously X-Men 97 or um Your Friendly Neighborhood, so those will stay out. It'll just be its base MCU projects.
I
So,
mean you said in okay, so you
yeah.
weren't really going for animated anyway.
Yeah, I really was staying away. And
Okay.
I'll tell you now, What If is not making an appearance because that would be.
Okay.
So I just want you to have kind of an idea of where it's going to be because I know Disney Plus can be confusing
All right.
sometimes. All right. So your first one is Hawkeye.
I really like Hawkeye.
I do too.
I think I'm higher than the general public perception.
I am too.
Okay.
Kate Bishop.
Dang. I'm gonna go three.
Ooh, three. That's a lot lower than I thought. If I
I'm
had to
gonna go.
rank MCU TV projects in general, Hawkeye's my number two.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Hawkeye out of all the
Because
shows.
I'm really high on Loki.
Okay,
Really high
I
on
get
Loki.
that. Yeah, Loki. I mean, Loki's Loki,
Yeah.
but okay,
Not I don't know. Again, I don't know if you have Loki on there, but
you won't know. Um,
We'll find out. Oh,
Yeah, so
ooh.
your next one. So we have Hawkeye at three. Your next one will be WandaVision.
WandaVision, I'm going one.
Thank you. WandaVision is my favorite MCU TV project.
It started with a banger, and unfortunately, we haven't got back to it.
Yep, that's the saddest thing. I loved
It
WandaVision.
was
Every
so
week was
good.
excited. It was a great
It
show.
was,
It was
yeah,
different. What I loved about it was how different it was, exploring the different that was a fantastic show. Okay. So WandaVision is your one.
yep.
Agatha.
Okay,
You didn't see
so
Agatha.
I have not.
That's right. I'll
By
change it.
default. Okay, you can change it
I'll
if you
change
want.
it. I
If
have
you
I
want
have
to change it.
backups. I put two backups on there.
All right.
She-Hulk.
Five.
Perfect.
Terrible.
Yeah. Um,
Terrific. If
okay.
I could go back in time and tell myself not to watch it, I would.
Yeah, I would too. Moon Knight.
See, here's the problem now. See, now we got two and four.
Yep.
I don't think Moon Knight is better than Hawkeye, but it's really close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going four.
Okay. That's interesting
Dude, the poll
because
is terrible.
Loki was not on the list.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna do that to me, dude.
Do you have any guesses which number two is? No, it's Miss Marvel. Did you see Miss Marvel?
I was so mad I didn't get past the first episode.
Miss Marvel. If I had to rank my top
We'll, we'll,
five
we'll
MCU
put
project,
Miss Marvel second
of course.
because I did at least watch some of it.
Okay. My backup for that, my backup if I didn't use that one was going to be Loki. But
No, I don't want to
I
cheat. I don't want to cheat the system.
I used Miss Marvel because I love Miss Marvel. I
I know,
loved everything about Miss
I
Marvel.
know you do. That's terrible.
Definitely if I had to rank my top
Terrible.
five post Endgame shows, Miss Marvel is
I
number
wish I would
five.
have put Hawkeye at two. Dang, I should have put Hawkeye at two.
Hawkeye. If I had to rank top five, mine is WandaVision, Hawkeye, Loki, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel in that order. I loved all five of those shows. Mm, I'm a bit of a Hawkeye. I was Hawkeye for Halloween when I was young. Um, I was Vision a couple years back, actually, in 2021 when WandaVision came out. I was Vision for Halloween. Loki was just a great story. It's one of the few who went for two seasons, um, or more than one season. Loki was just a phenomenal story, and Moon Knight was great as well. I wish we could see more of him. Moon Knight was different. It
I just,
tapped in
I just think the character
of
is
Moon Knight
terrible. No, Miss
or
Marvel.
Miss Marvel. Okay,
She's so annoying.
I think she's
I'm sorry.
charming. I think that's the charm.
Ah,
Obviously,
you're just Google-eyed for her, aren't you?
no, definitely not her. Kate Bishop, yeah, but her,
Uh-oh.
no, no, no. Um,
I can't do it, dude. It's so even in the Marvels,
yeah,
terrible. So annoying.
definitely more annoying in
So
the
annoying.
Marvels, but not bad because I feel like that really captures her personality. I mean, I know she's a newer character, so she's a lot different because she's only
Like,
10 years old. In obviously in the world, she's 10. Her character was out a couple, 10 a decade ago or so.
I
But
mean, that's more for the screenwriters in the MCU, not comics. Like
yeah, I
they just
think if the because I want to say that her character, the way she captures that fangirl of
that's what's terrible for me.
you don't like that. I like see
I hate
that's
it.
what I like. I think
I
it
hate it.
captures it perfectly. It plays well to
I
the
hate it.
comics.
Listen, take the same general consensus, right? If you let's just say you met Harrison Ford today,
Yeah.
because he's one of your all-time favorites.
Favorite
You are
of all
not
time. Yep.
fangirling like that. And if you did, it'd probably be for a minute. And
Yes.
then once you had a conversation with him and he was like, you know what, bro, just like join my Indiana Jones team, you're cool with Harrison Ford. There's no shot you're still fangirling over Harrison Ford.
So
You're on his team.
I agree. I think taking it to that level, if you're talking about that in a Captain Marvel standpoint, in a Carol Danvers standpoint, if I was Carol, I'd be pissed.
I would be
We're
like, dude,
cool.
stop glazing. Like,
Yeah,
please.
like I'm
I
trying to
like you
fight
enough to have you
villains.
on my side. Like, chill.
Exactly. So if we're going at that standpoint, yes, I definitely believe it's over the top. But I believe that's just the character. Kamala herself, Iman Vellani, I think she is fantastic. I think she plays what's given to her, and I think she does it well. If you want to
Sure.
talk about the
It
writing,
really, sure.
that's
I mean,
another
it takes
story.
a good actor to be a psycho, but
I think that over time, when she becomes a more weathered character, really, if the MCU goes past Secret Wars, they might, decide to dial it back. And honestly, I hope they do too,
they got to, man.
because
They got
being
to.
an Avenger, it's like Tony Stark and Peter Parker.
You got to
For
be
the
level-headed,
first
bro.
5 minutes,
Got to.
Peter flipped out in Civil War. Oh my gosh, Tony Stark's
Exactly.
with my aunt.
Exactly.
And then he's like, wait, I'm on your team. Now we can be cool. Now
Yeah.
in Homecoming, we saw a little bit of like him, making the video at the beginning, blogging about it, or vlogging. It was like, yeah, it was cool. He's fangirl. And then he takes the shield and everything else is just now he's Spider-Man. He's on Team Iron Man. It don't matter. So I agree with you on that. Yeah, it definitely she's weathered enough now where it shouldn't be at that level. It could still be a little bit like Peter Parker and Tony Stark, but
Yeah, I
she's
mean, you
taken it
could
to the
have
next
that
level.
dynamic of like,
Yeah.
or and stuff like that, but like the fact that she's still
But to be honest, I feel like
fangirling,
they might be filling unwantedly. I mean, I don't want it. I don't know a lot of people that do. A lot of people didn't like Miss Marvel, her character, or the show, or the Marvels to begin with. I'm one of the few people, but
very, very few people.
very few. But
I'm just low on it because it annoys me.
yeah,
Like,
I think they're trying to
you
unwantedly fill the void
like
of
musicals, don't you?
no, no, no,
No, no.
no.
See, like the main one of the main things in the Marvels that really just pissed me off was just like them randomly singing.
I think we could have
Fine,
not even talked about it and mutually agreed in our heads because that was stupid.
it's
I
awful.
don't care what universe you're from, that was dumb. That was just a
And then the
stupid.
whole powers being intertwined. Good
Uh,
idea, poorly executed.
that was yeah, that was it was lazy, which I can't complain about because that's been or I can, but that's been the MCU since Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, with a few hits in and out. What?
Did you like Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
John Walker. That's the only thing I liked. Everything else sucked. John Walker was fantastic. He should have been Captain America. I would take him over Bucky, but everything else on that show was stupid.
I love Bucky.
I love Bucky too, but that show ruined it.
Laser.
I could
Did
tell.
you watch you watch Brave New World, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? His cameo. What'd you think?
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. I expected it. I mean,
Interesting that he was going for political candidacy.
yes, I'm wondering how that's going to play out with Thunderbolts upcoming
Yeah.
because you could clearly see in
Obviously that
Thunderbolts
had
it's
to
not the
set up
same one.
something in Thunderbolts.
Yeah, it's not the same Bucky. I mean, they're two completely different personalities. In
Yeah.
Brave New World, he had a clean shaven head. He his in Thunderbolts, his hair's long back to Winter Soldier vibes. His beard's
Yeah.
kind of starting to grow out. He looks rough. He's wearing rough clothes. He's not wearing the suit that Congressman Bucky Barnes is wearing. He's or
Yeah.
soon to be. Something has to play, and I'm wondering what that is and how it's placed in the timeline, and if it's close to Brave New World in the timeline, how drastic of an experience he had to go through for it to decline that much. Which
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
I think it'll be really good to see, and I'm really interested because Thunderbolts looks good. One of the few that I'm
Nice.
excited for. It looks really
And
good.
I was pretty high on well, it's pretty. I wouldn't say I was high, but I was pretty good on Brave New World.
I was too. I filmed a out of theater reaction, which
Has-
I took from John Campia, by the way, the same podcaster. He does out of theater reactions, and I've wanted to do that for forever, and I saw him doing it. I said I'm gonna do it too. So sorry, but but I absolutely love being able to get right out of the theater. I always want to talk about something right after I watch it, so I something quick.
Mhm.
I I love I loved watching the movie. Not so much I loved the movie, but I loved watching it and seeing it. Again, we could take Harrison Ford, for example. We just talked about him. Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. But I was gonna do a whole segment on reviewing Brave New World, but by the time, I
Mhm.
started, it was a little later. But Brave New World overall, we could hit it now for a little bit. That was just it was a good movie. It
Yeah,
wasn't
I
anything
mean,
special, but it wasn't bad. We could have walked out with an
with,
Eternals level movie.
yeah. Well, Eternals isn't that bad either.
Oh, don't get me started on Eternals.
Now, how many times have you watched Eternals?
Twice, and it's the
Twice. Okay.
worst 3 hours
It's
I've spent.
significantly better on rewatch for Eternals because you know the
I agree.
character, you know everything. Your first initial watch on Eternals, you think is going to be dog water because you can't piece everything together.
Yeah,
All the time jumps with all the characters that they're introducing. It's terrible.
yeah,
On your second watch, and you're like, I know this person.
yeah.
I know where it's at right now. And you can really just feel the detail. It's a really good movie.
Really good as a push.
Really good movie post what was it? Post Endgame?
Yeah, She-Hulk was better, but we'll get
No, whoa.
oh
She-Hulk
100%.
is literally like a 0 out of 10,
At
my
least
guy.
She-Hulk had Daredevil. That's
That Daredevil was awful.
but but it was still Daredevil. It
That was supposed
wasn't.
to be the Daredevil we were supposed to get in Born Again, and
Yeah,
then they rewrote everything. I'm so glad they did
I
because I
am too.
lost my marbles, dude.
Yeah, that was just yeah. Oh
But yeah, I mean, you could really tell where the rewrites and stuff and reshoots happened in Brave New World, and that
yeah.
was really the main. I was not coming into the movie to be blown away by any
Oh
means
yeah.
because I was
By
already
yeah.
prepared for disappointment with the rewrites and reshoots. Like, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I'm with, Trilith Institute. I'm taking a
Yeah.
bunch of classes with Trilith Studios and stuff. They posted on the Instagram that they filmed Brave New World at Trilith in 2023,
Wow.
and it
Which is
just now
wild to
released
think about.
because they had so many reshoots. They had so
Yeah.
many storytelling. Like you could tell, but it also didn't hinder the movie the way I thought it was,
One
to where
second.
I was like, okay. So they posted it and it was like 2023 was filmed there. And it just now released and they had so many reshoots and everything that it extended the process. So I was already going into the movie expecting a lot of a lot less because I was just preparing to be just like this is an absolute train wreck,
Yeah.
but it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It exceeded a lot. Mind you, I had a low bar, but it exceeded it by far. I think I gave it like a 7.2,
I was somewhere around there,
something around it.
7.5.
And it's obviously the worst Captain America movie
Of course.
by far. But those are hard shoes to fill. And my biggest takeaway from Brave New World was I wanted to see a difference between Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson, and I
Mhm.
got that. Even with their fighting
Yeah.
style. Like you could tell, like in the opening sequence when he's coming down to like
Yeah.
grab that package or whatever, and he like flies down, lands, throws his shield. It
Yeah.
was like for it, and then the wind just came down and like knocked everything down. That was
Yeah.
freaking awesome. That was
I I liked it, but I have a few problems with those. A lot of it seemed like forced, and it's not just with Sam, it was a little bit with Steve too. Forced shield tricks. Like you could suspend my belief a little bit where, you throw the shield, it bounces a few things, it comes back, whether it's magnetized or something. But Sam Wilson was doing like basketball trick shots with that shield
No
And you know,
super soldier serum,
you know
just
the
a regular
scene
old guy.
with
I mean, I get it. I
you know the
do.
scene where they first found the leader's hideout and what's her face? The Israeli chick came out and she, fought they all fought the guy the guys who the leader was controlling. I'm sitting there watching it and it was just the theater was empty. It was me and my buddy and that was it. So I was able to talk and laugh and kind of go over it with myself as I'm watching. I'm watching it and he takes the shield and he's holding it. She's fighting and he throws the shield. If I'm not mistaken, it bounces off one wall, goes to the other wall, and comes back and lands on his arm.
Oh, so
Normal.
like he hit nothing?
He didn't hit any person. He just threw the shield to throw the
I don't
shield.
know.
I mean,
I
I
watched
could
it
have
like
misseen it. I could have misseen it. It might have
maybe.
been my eyes.
Maybe
It
it
might
was
have
just
been.
like a weird cut that they just
It could have
wanted
been.
to save time on, and then they just ended up like cutting
Yeah.
the actual hit out to just
They could have, but
yeah.
when I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, Steve always threw it with a purpose. Sam usually throws it with a purpose. But to watch him throw it at a wall is just like, this is not Captain America. Nothing against Sam. I love Anthony Mackie's character. I do. No problem with Anthony Mackie. But come
Dude,
on.
I wanted to say that. I wanted to say that the line where Harrison Ford was like, um, "You can be Captain America, but you'll never be Steve
Yeah.
Rogers." He said that in the trailer,
Yeah.
and then they cut like half of it in the actual movie.
Yeah.
I was so mad because that
That's a
line
hard
was so
line.
hard, bro.
Yeah.
How would you cut that?
And it makes sense because in Falcon and Winter Soldier, regardless of race or ethnicity or whatever, Sam was struggling to take the mantle just because of what the mantle meant. It had nothing to do with they tried to, push a very
Mhm.
one-sided aspect. But if you think about it solely based on Sam didn't want to take the mantle because Sam knew how much it meant to Steve and he didn't want to disappoint Steve. So to have the president of the United States to your face say you'll never be Steve Rogers, that's hard hitting to a man who's fighting the identity of being this hero that his one of his best friends once was and
Mhm.
trusted him with that mantle. Now Steve Rogers on the moon is probably really pissed right now. But there's this aspect where Sam is like, I'm trying to be somebody better, but I'm not trying to be Steve. And for you to be the president of the United States, I'm trying to work with you, and you're straight up telling me that I'll never be Steve Rogers when mentally I'm fighting myself on the
Mhm.
fact that I know I'll never be Steve. It's
Yeah.
like John Walker said, I don't want to be Steve. I'm just trying to be the best Captain America I can be, which was the best line. I will say it is the best line, I think, in any MCU project post Endgame. When John Walker said that he's just trying to be the best Captain America he could be, because John Walker didn't deserve any hate he got. John Walker didn't do anything wrong. He's a decorated hero.
I mean, he did kill somebody in cold blood.
When we get to that, when when I think about the killing somebody, I understand where he's coming from.
That
Do
show
I
pissed me
believe
off so much,
do,
bro.
do I believe he's right or wrong? That's a conversation for another time. But the only person who ever stuck up for him and vouched for him was his best friend. Not Steve, sorry, Sam and Bucky continuously were throwing shots at him, saying how much he sucks. When, again, John Walker didn't do anything to deserve the hate. John Walker is just trying to be the best Captain America he could. So to continuously get it, he looked up to Sam and Bucky. He obviously looked up to Steve, but Sam and Bucky are living. He's looking up to them. He's inspired. To constantly be getting beaten down verbally by people you look up to, it's not fair to him. So
So
when the
it's just so ironic to me that somebody trying to wield the shield is being torn down, but when the actual terrorist in the show is being told, no, no, she's not actually a terrorist. I promise.
yeah, that's now there's my problem with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Dude.
blaming everybody. She's not a terrorist, but she is. She is a terrorist. She did things. She did bad things. I understand why he killed the first John Walker killed the first person he saw. It's because I use this analogy. If I saw my friends getting beat up and not even dead, if I see my friends getting beat up by a group of people, I'm gonna run, and if people run faster and one runs slower, I'm gonna go after the first person who I can because clearly they didn't care, who it was. They were going after John Walker and Steve and Sam and Bucky. I keep saying Steve, Sam and Bucky. They weren't going after his friend, the Iron Patriot. Well, I'm not the Iron Patriot, Patriot, but I know why because he was fighting as well. But if someone's coming after me and they just grab my friend, obviously you have to be better, but also you have to be aware. I'll get intel on the person. So John Walker just took the serum. He was confronting his own mental battles. He really, I mean, was he right? No, but he wasn't necessarily wrong in what he did. In my eyes, this is completely up
And
to opinion.
obviously, I mean, they didn't lock him up for it. So,
Yeah. And he did kill somebody wrong. He killed somebody who blew up buildings with innocent people there.
yeah, he killed the terrorist. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time,
At the same time, it's, yeah.
it's
Well, all
it's
right.
that gray area, you know?
Yeah, it's right in between. All right. All right. And finally, every week now I've been doing reviews on Daredevil. Born Again season one came out last week with them filming two. Season one released with episodes one and two, and just this past Tuesday, episode three released. And I love the episode. What did you think about it?
Yeah, no, I liked it too. Um, we all knew what was going to happen at the end, obviously.
Of course,
Still sad though,
it is, and
given the circumstances.
it's a shame because unfortunately the actor not live to well couldn't live to see his work, of course, but couldn't continue playing this character. Now we knew that something was going to happen regardless, um, if the actor didn't pass away, but just knowing that we know it couldn't happen, it is sad knowing that they had to take it that route and end White Tiger's life even after the whole struggle he was through in that third episode.
Hmm. My biggest complaint with the series as a whole right now. Now I get with the story and everything that he's giving up being Daredevil. You know, it's a part of it. But it's hard to for me as a fan to see a continuation of a show that I loved in its entirety. It's so good. The Netflix show is so good. And to come back and be excited and to only have one scene with him in the suit so far
Yeah.
in 3 episodes, it feels unfortunate. Like it sucks.
I I get it. I am one where come on, this is a Daredevil show. Give us the Daredevil action we love. I will always remember that one of those first scenes in the Netflix show where he's in his black suit and he's helping the girls who are getting kidnapped and sex trafficked.
Yep.
And I will always remember watching that scene. And I've had to watch the first episode a couple of times just because of getting into it the first time and now rewatching a couple times.
Mhm.
Come on, it's a Daredevil show. Show us some Daredevil. First scene was really cool. Uh, where we got to see him in the suit. I like the suit. But now it's the third episode, and we still don't have a Daredevil suit. And I love Matt
Yeah.
Murdock's
And
personal life.
even yeah, but even to that notion, at the end of season or in the end of episode 2, um, when he's like passing the street when Wilson Fisk became mayor, and you could tell like the red lights were kind of contrasting half of his face.
Yeah,
Obviously, you know, anyone with a brain would have thought, oh, so it only
Daredevil's coming
took
back.
2 episodes for him to be like, all right, so I really gotta fight with this, but I gotta be Daredevil.
Which makes sense because in a 9 episode series,
And then episode 3 came along and he still wasn't
yeah,
Daredevil. You're like, What are we doing here?"
it's it's now episode three. There's only six left. I believe that there's proper time to still introduce Daredevil, which I really think that he'll be introduced next episode. I think what'll happen is it'll be the cliffhanger. You know, the cliffhanger of this is we saw. We don't know if it's actually Frank, and I think you and I
It's
both know
not.
it's not Frank.
Definitely
But
not Frank. It's definitely not even the build from
yeah,
so but that just means it's gonna take all of episode 4
to get
to
back
set up
into it,
this
which is
like
now
Wilson Fisk task force copying the Punisher, and then some crap's gonna have to really go down before
why.
he feel like he has to go be Daredevil again.
Yeah, and it's getting to the point where it's like, what is important to him to become Daredevil? Fisk won as mayor. Fisk won the election. We obviously knew it was coming because of Echo. Have you seen Echo?
No.
No, right? Okay, so we knew it was coming because of the end of Echo, which was an okay series. It wasn't the best, wasn't the worst, but no need to get into that.
On
But
on my to-do list, but just haven't
it's
got
not
around to it.
important. Not important at all. Fisk isn't even a major part in it. He is, but he really isn't.
So that's my second major complaint with Born Again is we've we're told it's a continuation of the next Netflix series, but we also know that it has to be a continuation of all of his appearances in the actual MCU with
Yeah,
No Way Home, She-Hulk, and Echo
Hawkeye.
and
Oh,
Hawkeye.
we're talking about, okay. I see
Both
what
of
you mean.
the characters,
Both
Daredevil and
characters.
Wilson.
Okay.
And it feels like we're just missing something.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is, but we're missing something that ties everything together that we can feel like it is a continuation, but we also know it's in the MCU, but it doesn't feel like it's in the MCU yet.
You know, I definitely agree because we are at the point where it's almost halfway through the season. Like after episode 4, it'll be halfway through. And that dynamic, the Fisk and Matt Murdock dynamic that we loved in the Netflix show that everybody loved, besides the one scene in the diner and that one scene where I think it was the end of episode 1 or sometime in episode 1 where Fisk announces he's running for mayor. Fisk meets with the younger kid who's one
Mhm.
of his campaign managers. As they're walking out, Murdoch is standing in front of the car, and Fisk is like, "It's been a while," and they have. Those are the only two scenes that we can really capture the dynamic between the two
Mhm.
characters. And that's something that the first show on Netflix did so well is they didn't even have to be in the same room. They didn't even have to be talking to each other. And both characters are
And you could
so much
still,
alike that you feel that they're
yeah,
connected. This does not have it like it did on Netflix. This is very Daredevil is doing his thing and then Fisk is doing his thing. And the reason they meet like their story meets in the middle is because of White Tiger, but that's its own thing. And now the Punisher gang or whatever these people are who's killed White Tiger, whoever, because we see in the courtroom they have the tattoos on here on their neck. We see that
hmm
it's a gang. Is it run by Fisk? Why would it be run by Fisk? And if it was run by Fisk, why would he use the Punisher's logo? That those are questions that could be answered, but everything feels so robotic and it's like this happened and this. I don't think this is me just shitting on the show or this is me. I love the show. I've loved
yeah.
what they've done so
The
far, but it
the
just feels
courtroom scenes are
very,
just brilliant. They're so
yeah.
good.
I love the courtroom scenes.
Um,
And for somebody who's, you know, wanted to be a lawyer, I I love the courtroom scenes back in the Netflix show. And in the Netflix show, the best thing about it was that they worked together. So the courtroom scenes and Matthew's outside life affected his courtroom life, his Daredevil life effect, and vice versa. But with this one, it kind of feels like Matthew is two separate characters, and that
mhm.
his outside personal life and his courtroom life don't affect each other. I don't know yet though, because Matt, as far as we know, doesn't know about White Tiger dying. Like Matthew, right now, it's nighttime, it's the middle of the night. What I'm interested to see is remember, there's that scene in the jail where Matt goes, win this case, lose this case. you can never be White Tiger again.
Mhm.
And he goes, I know. Is this going to be on Matthew's conscience? Is this the reason why Matthew decides to slowly crawl back to not only Daredevil, but to his faith? Because you could see that in Daredevil in the Netflix show,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
very tied to his faith, and
Yep.
he was a devout Catholic. And now it's like you saw one scene where he walked past the church and he kind of looked at it. It's not. I'm wondering if this is the reason that he has this on his chest. It's not his
Yep.
fault, but he was the one who outed him as White Tiger. He was the one who said, "Are you the White Tiger?" in the courtroom. So will Matthew
Yeah,
be like
but
me?
it's also not like he died out of suit. So like
Yeah.
he chose to suit up.
Well, now
Now,
if
if he
he
just died out of suit, not putting it on, he was just with his family, then yeah, that's gonna be on Matt's conscience. But now
and
knowing Matt, still gonna be on his
yeah, it's
conscience.
and that's where I'm taking it as is Matt's character. Matt is like, well, I'm the one who outed him as White Tiger. I think now it's who put the hit on White Tiger, if anybody did.
Yes.
We
So
believe
you
it's
think
Wilson
this
Fisk.
this back half of the season is just gonna be like this revenge ploy?
Not necessarily, but I also think that that's going to be a major aspect in the rest of how this plays out.
In getting back Daredevil.
I think Matt is struggling with after Foggy died. Matt is struggling with the identity that Daredevil is and how Daredevil, excuse me, I'm sorry, how Daredevil can really help the public. While Daredevil was gone, we see in every episode, which I still don't know how I feel about. I think I like it, but I don't know. The BB Yorick, the little news videos. It's not
I'm
my
not.
favorite, but I'm not
It
opposed
just
to it.
feels. It just feels so weirdly placed.
It does. I said in my last
Every
episode,
single time, it's just weirdly placed.
yeah, I said last week, I was like, you know what? It I don't know how I feel about it, but I like that we get to see the everyday New Yorkers like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
reaction.
yeah. Yeah,
Like
that's great.
one thing in Daredevil or in any of the movies and shows that we don't see is the fact that we could be Avengers and New York falls to the ground. And the only scene we've ever gotten where we got to hear the everyday citizen was that one waitress in Avengers 1 when she said, "Oh, and Captain America saved me," and I was grateful. That's the
Mm.
only time we really ever got to understand how an American was feeling or how any person was feeling who's not directly tied into this. So with this, getting to hear more of the, yeah, White Tiger, Daredevil, we need Daredevil back, but we're happy White Tiger's here. Like I like
But
it,
at the
but
same token, it's a little weird because you
it
know
is.
that it's a Daredevil show, but you also know that it's placed in the MCU, which means that it also has to be placed with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're saying they need Daredevil but not Spider-Man
Yeah. And you know,
is a little weird to me.
I
And
I definitely I'm on the same wavelength as you, especially because in episode I think it was 2, Fisk brought up we don't need a man with a skull. We
yeah,
don't need a man in a spider suit. Like,
yeah, but it would be a little different if it was like still in Hell's Kitchen, but
yeah,
it's not because that was really just Daredevil's turf was just
yeah,
Hell's Kitchen. That was it, you know? So people in Hell's Kitchen saying that they still need Daredevil, I totally get that. But this is more broad New York right now because he
yeah,
even moved out of Hell's Kitchen.
yeah.
That's just
I
where it
mean,
gets,
they have the Avengers too. It's like why
yeah.
go down? I see what you're
Well,
saying. Why go to
kind of
Daredevil
not though.
when
They don't.
not
Avengers aren't.
not now, but like they've had them before, and I'm sure
Yeah,
they're not as familiar with every little thing going on in the Avengers
yeah.
as us, the audience, and so they've had all these strong heroes. I do get why are they asking for people like Daredevil and White Tiger when they could simply say, obviously everybody knows Iron Man died because he's Tony Stark,
Yeah.
but they could say we want the Hulk, we want Thor. They're fine.
Yep.
I get it. I'm overall, I still enjoyed the episode. I the courtroom
Okay.
scenes obviously carried the whole episode. The everything about the episode, kind of the flow, the pacing of this whole series so far, besides the stuff in the Daredevil suit, and I think that's less of a pacing and more of a just writing thing. I think the show's been doing really good. I
It
I'm
opened
excited.
with like 7.5 million views on Disney
It
Plus or
it
something like
got
that. It was pretty
good
good.
viewership,
So
and
yeah,
unfortunately, I couldn't be one of them, and I was so upset. But
I watched
uh,
it that night. I ain't gonna lie.
I sat here and I waited, and my power went out at
Oh yeah, yeah,
8:30 or 8:45. So I couldn't even watch it that night because it didn't come back until the following morning at like 5 a.m. Watched it the next morning though. I mean, but I'm loving this show so far.
yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
it's good.
I'm at around probably 8.4 right now.
Okay. I I think I'm more excited to see what's gonna happen next than I am sitting down. Like we saw the Punisher logo on that guy wearing it who shot White Tiger.
Mhm. That was
And
that
I
was good
think,
because that was more than just a tattoo, right?
yeah, it
So
was
that
the logo. It
so now that really just solidified that there's actually a like some type of
someone
gang.
copycat or gang or something. And I think everybody knew obviously that's not Frank. It doesn't look like Frank. It's not how Frank walks. It's none of that. It's not his logo. But it opens questions and then it gets us excited for, well, everybody loved John Berthnell as Punisher and everybody loved that show, at least the people who watched it. Like, people are now excited to see, and I'm one of them who's excited to see what's happening next. And I think the best way to get excited for next is being happy with what you're getting now. And because I'm watching the episodes, and
Mhm.
I'm one of the few people who, when it comes to Daredevil, I mean, I guess a lot of people do. I know you do, but we were talking about it, the courtroom scenes. Matt's personal life is just as interesting to me as Daredevil's. Matt's
Oh
lawyer
yeah,
life is just, and obviously only
for
if it's
sure.
written well, but
Now, I just don't think we need 100% of that.
3 episodes of straight Matt Murdock.
It's true. Yeah, but
No, I
like I said,
agree.
at the end of episode 2, I fully understood with again like that transition with his face and everything. Like I got it,
Yeah,
but you didn't use it after that.
but it lingered. It's
You didn't
something
you
you got to
didn't use that
capitalize
you
on
didn't
as
use
it's
that
there.
setup, you know?
Even if it was at the end of this week's episode, at the end of episode 3, as the
Yeah.
cliffhanger to 4, just
Mhm.
something to capitalize on the moment that you had,
Yeah.
which is something that I hope they'll do in the future with Like, I hope the episode 4 we see Frank because you teased him. I mean, even if you
Right.
didn't. I mean, now if it's episode 6 and Frank's just coming in, well, he was intro. They teased him in 3. You had
I
4 and
don't
5.
I don't think we need Frank right away
No,
because this isn't Frank. So you didn't tease Frank.
you teased something, but you did tease Frank. I mean, regardless, you teased not the Frank, but you teased some sort, not Frank, but you teased some sort of the Punisher. I mean, it wasn't,
Yeah.
which I think the best course of action to go, and this is just me. This is when Matt goes to talk to Frank. Why we saw in the trailer Frank and Matt were fighting. Why were they fighting? Who knows? Unless they take this episode 4 that comes out Tuesday, and they say, all right, we got Frank and Matt, or we have Matt exploring, and Frank thinks that Daredevil is the reason why his name is getting tossed around in
Mm.
for worse, then
Yep.
that's why I get it. But they have to give it time to build, but they also have to move because again, it's the same problem that a lot of people had with Falcon Winter Soldier and Miss Marvel and She-Hulk and WandaVision. You have or Secret Invasion, prime example. You have 6, 7 episodes, 6 to 9, anywhere between there, and 3 episodes are fillers. With the season that short, you have 3 episodes. Let's say a 9 episode season, you have 3 episodes to set up the beginning, 3 episodes for the middle, 3 episodes in the end. You don't have 3 or 4 filler episodes in between with the story that's already being compromised to two
Mm.
episodes. I mean, so again,
Now,
I enjoy it.
I don't think Daredevil these first 3 episodes feel like filler.
I don't think so either. Not with this, at least.
Definitely not like She-Hulk. Um,
No.
so it is a little bit different, but
Yeah.
plus
No,
we already know
that
we're getting
definitely
a
is.
plus we already know we're getting a season two. So it's a little bit,
And
you know,
most possibly a three. I mean, I think that's on their radar now, and
yeah.
I see.
Um,
I see
if
the
you
good
have
thing.
that big of an opening, they're probably already planning for a lot more.
Yeah. I see the best thing about Daredevil is that you can keep him separate from the rest of the universe if we continue, and he's probably going to be in either Doomsday or Secret Wars. But after that, you could focus on the X-Men, on the Fantastic Four, and
Yeah,
Daredevil could
but
still be its own thing.
we really don't need them in the Avengers
And
projects.
we don't, but I think I could say I'm almost definitely know they're gonna put him in anyways.
Oh,
Because
sure,
the way to make money is to have these
sure.
big characters, and Daredevil's a big character now.
Yeah.
Do we need him in? I say it would be even better if they do a separate little Defenders project to see, like, I think the same thing for Infinity War Endgame. We need to see how they're helping because not every superhero needs to fight Doctor Doom. We need people on the ground level dealing with local crimes like looting or robbery or I mean the world's going to hell and
Yep.
we need superheroes to defend the everyday citizen who's really trying to escape. We That's something that I guess the Arrowverse did really good at is that they when they were doing their crossovers, they were good at delegating tasks. We saw people like Alex and in Crisis at least, Alex and Kelly Olsen and you know, Nia Knoll. We saw them all helping people escape while other superheroes were fighting the anti-monitor, the parademons. What we need to see is how superheroes now are fighting, but they're also helping because you could have all the superheroes fighting Doom. It'll be an awesome fight scene. Don't get me wrong. But then outside of the battleground, people are getting trampled over because they're trying to escape to nowhere. So we need to improve on that. I know this is completely straight off from talking about Daredevil episode 3,
You're good.
but I mean it's like overall Daredevil needs to play a part in the overachieving universe that he is a part of. But how significant of a part that all depends on how they write it, and that's not up to us, which I would do it completely
Yeah.
different than the Russo brothers. But
Yeah. So I have two more notes on Daredevil.
yeah, what do you think?
They're nitpicky and they're small.
Yeah, as a writer, I get it.
Number one is it's not even that like necessarily writing,
Okay.
but number one is White Tiger suit. Now I get it. I do. 40 seconds of screen time maximum.
Yeah.
You don't want to spend so much money on a suit, but that looked terrible.
Now,
It was bad.
let me make this comment on the suit. When they showed the video of him fighting in the convenience
Yeah,
store,
it's
it
horrible.
looked okay because it was a quick, it was like a flash and you couldn't really see it.
It
Then
just
it comes out and he puts it on, and I'm like,
you're
White Tiger should look more like a Black Panther type suit than it should a random like hood. Like it looked like a hood
it
with a
looked
mask and
looked
just a white jacket.
it looked awful.
And the necklace, the necklace, what does that do? Clearly it gives some sort of powers. Maybe we'll find out in the future when they give it off to the girl. But why? Like, why waste any money on a suit like that? Should have just gave him like the black Daredevil suit and gave him like a hoodie and like a mask and put like a
hmm
cheap mask on his face and jeans and a hoodie. Maybe do like a Wildcat from DC type look where it's not full on.
They just went on for a full suit and just
Yeah, and
terrible.
bombed it. Yeah. And
This
it could have been a cool suit. They could have done a Wildcat suit
yeah.
and made it more enhanced. Clearly he's a whether he's a mixed martial artist, I forgot exactly what to say, boxer. They could have made it look cool. They could have put aspects and then given him a cool headgear, like piece of headgear, a mask, a helmet, something. but it looked like they went into the dumpster and found whatever leftover fabric they had and just were like, yeah, we'll throw it together.
Yeah,
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 it was rough. It was a rough suit.
my second point, and I get legally,
Yeah,
sure, but they took Nelson off the name, off the door, his name off the door of the law firm.
yeah.
Dead or alive, bro. I feel like Matt should have kept that. You can
That's
add
like
the other chick. You can add the other chick's name
to honor him.
because you're in partnership, but to
Yeah,
honor him, it should stay on the door.
yeah.
And it's that small little detail kind of pissed me off, but
And I definitely I I I I didn't even think about that because that's like really small. Like at least the white tiger suit is noticeable. That's just
yeah,
really small.
sure.
But thinking about it, it's like it wouldn't hurt to keep it on. People would be like, people wouldn't say, "Oh well, Nelson's dead, so why even have a name?" People wouldn't care. It
Mhm.
would most
Yeah,
people would see it as to honor him. It's a small detail. It's not something I'm obviously it doesn't make or break the show for me or you. It's just something to think about. Um,
yeah. I
you
was
know,
talking to my
yeah,
cousin about it, and he was like, "Okay, that's so small." And I was like, "Yeah, but like, imagine." At the end of the season when like it's revealed that Foggy actually didn't die and he was in witness protection and he just like walks into the law firm.
yeah, and it's just
He
not
just
there.
his first line goes, "Wow, you actually took me off the door."
Yeah, like
Like that'd be funny.
that would be a good use of Marvel's comedy. I know they'll probably just make Matthew twerk or something, but
Oh God.
but you know, I was gonna bring that up, the whole witness protection. A lot of speculation has gone on that, oh, because of the address of the building, it was 486 or 496 or whatever it was, but is the same comic book number of the one where we find out Foggy isn't dead in witness protection. What do you think about that? Because I have my doubts, but I also have, you know,
So in order to bring back the show, they have to do something drastic.
mhm,
Killing off Foggy did that,
yeah,
but also doing a specific storyline to where we could have him back it just it was like they wanted to kill him off to see how people would react and then have like a separate like
a
ending,
way to bring him
a
back just in
way to
case.
bring him back just in case. That's fine. I don't like all of that's fine to me. What I don't understand is Karen leaving.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Like if you're like you already like she didn't die, so what?
And she wasn't dating Foggy, she was dating Matt. You know,
So
in
it's like
in the
I,
long run, when it does come to bringing Foggy back, I am fine over a couple seasons. Season two, he comes back. Season three, he comes back. I don't want him to be like, I died, boo-hoo, surprise, I'm back, episode eight. I'm not really dead, Matthew, I'm running for mayor. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see over
but there
a
there
long,
has to be an actual reason for him
yeah,
to get witness protection, and then that's gonna all be revealed if that's the storyline that they're going.
it should be revealed that he was tied to Poindexter somehow, to Bullseye somehow. I don't think he should come back until season two. I think if he comes back and he says, "Yeah, I was tied to Bullseye, like I actually did something," but because we already saw that he was keeping some stuff from Matt and Karen
Hmm.
to begin
Hmm.
with. So if he comes back in season two, they set up a scene where Bullseye's actually, or season where Bullseye's actually the villain, and he comes back. Bullseye gets released. Bullseye goes after him. Matt protects him, and the reason he was in witness protection in the first season was because everything that happened was tied back to Fisk and Poindexter. So then in season two, when Ben is released, I don't know. That's just speculation and stuff that I'm thinking
Yeah.
could happen. Um, I think the when it comes to Karen leaving, like I said, she was dating Matt. I think the problem was Karen loved the character, was a little bit selfish. I think may have forgotten. I don't believe it was her fault because I know she's been through a lot. I think she forgot that Matt and Foggy knew each other for just so long. They started a firm together. They've been through jobs together. They didn't just get out of college and start.
Yeah.
They fought at the original.
When she was like, you're not the only one that lost a friend
Yeah.
too. Like Matt didn't lose a friend, he lost a brother.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
And
a lot
I think
different.
she's
It's
I
a lot
think
different. And it was very selfish for her to move,
yeah.
leaving
Instead
Matt
of be
all
there
by
for Matt.
himself.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I mean, we know she knows we know his secret that he doesn't like he's blind, but you left a blind guy by himself. Just how messed up is that? You left a blind guy by himself. So what? Foggy's dead. We don't need you in the show now. Like, not now, but we don't need you. They could have done something different just for her to disappear to San Francisco and then for some reason care enough to come back for the
The trial.
trial and not care about talking to Matt and then talk to him and then get
Yep.
upset when he said something that was I
And
forgot exactly
then
what he said.
gives him the broken piece of the
Yeah,
Daredevil horn.
what was that? Why? That was dumb. That I will say. I didn't even think so far into
You
that until
clearly
you said
just
something
you moved to San Francisco and told him, I don't need you anymore. And then you bring back a piece of Daredevil
of a
and told
whole.
him that the
Yeah,
city needs him. No, you don't need him.
you
You don't
left. You
even
don't
need
have
him.
a say. You don't have a say. That's how it is. I definitely
Yeah,
agree.
you're not in the city no more.
Yeah, why do go fight crime with the West Coast Avengers? We don't need you. Um, all right. Well, that was all I had for today. Thank you for coming on. I mean, it was a pleasure
Bro.
and it was fun to talk. And hopefully we'll do this again soon. You're always welcome on the show. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I'll link your Instagram and Heroic Graphics Instagram under here, and I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.